shadowed. But who cares?
Dream ending.
Oh, hi. I'm all right. This is weird. It's good to be back, though.
It's a. Oh yes,
Been
Matt.
avoiding you where I've been.
Matt, because of you now,
Yeah.
every time I get a question for Vox, it's usually, "Can you piss Coke?" It's because of you, Matt.
Good. You know what? Good.
Are you gonna introduce the rest of us? Are you gonna?
Well, cut me some slack. That's like the only Fox comic Lucifer gave me.
I mean, I kind of do want to give Mad some more Vox opportunities. No, I kind of do because I really enjoyed the piss comic.
Thanks.
Are you gonna?
That's the first comic he gave me to dub, by the way.
Mm. Oh, fuck no, I wouldn't disagree with that. It is yeah. I mean, Matt,
Probably pull off.
do you like being Tom?
I mean, I do think the character's pretty funny.
Honey. You gotta start the stream. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Just
Honey.
tell everyone that Lucifer's drunk.
Honey. Honey. You're keeping Deep Cut waiting. Oh.
It's just like, hurry the fuck up.
But yes, Madness, is it fine, though, if I do give Mad some Vox things that you gave me to do? Because I want to spread the love. Perfect.
Oh, can we introduce ourselves? Oh, yeah.
Do what you wish,
Alright.
do what you want.
Oh
Is
god,
Deep,
that sounds,
you
that just
shouldn't
sounds
make
like
Deep Cut here.
he's,
Deep
it
Cut would
sounds
have
like
fun
you're speaking
here.
about like that's how much time I had to live. Oh,
Got 5 seconds to live, go.
I wish to not die.
You know,
I wish
It's
for
like
bread.
it's like a demon saying you can't wish for more wishes.
I wish for bread.
oh,
Okay, I wish.
That's funny.
I wish for garlic bread.
Mad, I'm gonna be sending you something, Mad.
Okay.
Garlic bread is
I
fucking
love garlic bread.
Oh, I love garlic bread.
Shit, wait a minute.
Me
Shit.
too. I love garlic bread.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
He's
to.
drunk.
No, wait, shit. Ignore that, Mad.
I know.
I fucked up.
How is he gonna stream with Deep
hold on.
Cut
I gotta
while
see this
drunk?
fuck up now.
No, I already deleted it. You can't see it.
No, I need something to be mean to you with.
No. I'm not giving you that opportunity.
What?
Damn it.
You're not getting
This sounds like Arnold.
opportunity. Yeah,
Get to the chopper.
I'm sending over I'm sending over
ugly
some comics
motherfucker.
that he sent me. So Lucifer, is it fine I give Mad
Lucifer in
the,
the chat says Hazbin Hotel Fanworks brought me here. Heyo.
Heyo.
There's a Lucifer in your lives chat, and it says Hazbin Hotel Fanworks brought me here, and everyone's saying it's a wrote the fake Lucifer. It's the imposter. I'm laughing.
There can only be one. You know,
He's denying being the fake imposter. This is funny.
There's a string.
If there's a
Oh,
second
there's a
Lucifer.
second Lucifer.
Wait, if there's a second Lucifer, wouldn't it just...
Tell him I said hi. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. What? Wait, so am I on now? Oh, hi everyone. Wow. So I can only hear you. Not bad, not bad. Just got a new PC in today to do some 3D animation work on. Been setting that up all morning. Yeah. It's I mean yeah, I mean I definitely prefer 2D, just the art style of it all, but I can't draw, so 3D seems to be the best route for me. Like what? I'm sorry, I had no idea what you said right there. I'm having trouble hearing you today, which is weird because like we talked the other day and I had like no trouble at all. Maybe it's the new computer, the settings might be wonky. Yeah, I mean I can't draw at all, but with 3D you get these like dynamic camera movements. It's still I'd still prefer to work in 2D if I could, just because I'm such a a cartoon purist. I believe in pencil on paper. But I work with what I got. Yeah, I mean, it could tell the exact same story. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and because we both love animation so much, but I don't consider 3D itself to be art, at least not in the same way that 2D is. I think you can use it to tell an artful story. I don't think it diminishes the art that you put into a project. Just doesn't quite feel like art to me. Now you could take my assets that I build and yeah. Also, some people seem to be confused by exactly who I am, so we might want to do introductions, maybe? Hi. And real quick, we did just get 2 other people joining this chat with us, right? Or
Hello.
Nice to meet you both.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Go on.
I was gonna say, Lucifer, you still have the stream ending thank you up. Just letting you know.
Oh yeah.
Sorry for interruptions. Go ahead.
So where were we? What
Who are you?
Right. Hi. Okay. Yes. My name's Deep Cut. Some of you may know me from the Cartoon Universe channel where we talk about cartoons. Lately, mostly Hazbin Hotel, but also other things. Steven Universe, Me and Puppy Cat, The Owl House. We talk about it all there. Yeah, I mean, that's the basis of the channel was theories when the creator of the channel, Haley, started it quite a few years back. Since I've taken over, it's a bit more generalized. We do a lot of theories and a lot of speculation. I very much spoiled a lot of the Steven Universe future final season within like the first few episodes. I was able to be like, this is where it's going based off of the foreshadowing. I feel that's one of my strengths, I think, is doing the theories and figuring out the lore. So many little details that I've been able to put together that have been confirmed, some that haven't yet, but it's very fun. Cartoon Universe, yeah. I mean, it's pretty much just what I said before. We post videos about twice a week, just talking about everyone's favorite cartoons. Lately, we're really big on Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Expect a lot more of that in the future. But we do cover other cartoons. I just started covering Ruby, which is a very different beast. Yep, those guys, Rooster Teeth.
Team Rooster. Rooster Teeth. There you go.
Yeah. And they're it's a little bit more difficult for me than Hazbin, just because like Hazbin only had the 1 episode and 1 episode of Helva when I first got into it. So it was very easy for me to get in and do all this research. And there's still so much I don't know because of the behind the scenes stuff that Vivzie Pop does. But with Ruby, I'm out of my depth. There's like 8 seasons. I had to watch it twice in a row. There's like side books I still need to read. And just every writing team kind of has their own way of handling lore, and it's kind of hard to crack their code sometimes. I mean, with Ruby, from what I understand, the original man in charge had a pretty solid outline of where the whole series is going. And as of now, the new team that has taken over, from what I understand, they know where they're going. Like, they've had this plan for what the end game is. I think a lot of the little details and such are, going to be all over the place as they reach the end. But I think they have a good handle on their lore. It's just less about like foreshadowing and internal logic and more about like kind of just revealing things as they go. Whereas Hazbin Hotel, everything's set up. So once they say it, it already makes sense. It's so hard for me to choose. And just so you know, some people are saying they can't hear you in the chat.
No, yeah, I was about to say that. Check
I
your
have it
mic
up right
buttons.
now, and it sounds completely dead.
No, you're just muted entirely, Lucifer. It just sounds like Deep Cut's talking to himself.
Wow.
You didn't set your mic.
Set so that when I can hear myself on my PC, that's when everyone else can hear me. Oh my god.
So if you're
I'm
using
really sorry,
Streamlabs, you need
people.
to
I'm
make-
really sorry. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Sorry, is everything working now?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so you were asking what my favorite cartoon was.
Yes. Yes.
Gosh, that's so hard to...
See, I'm an old school fan. See, I really like, Transformers, Scooby-Doo, all that kind of stuff. I'm really, like, 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a simp for that.
Oh, simp's not the right word. But, I don't know.
Well, maybe not, no.
Growing up, I had this idea in your mind that, like, your favorite thing couldn't change. So, like, as I get older, I realize that I don't really like my quote-unquote favorite things anymore. It's such a weird word to me. I think Steven Universe and Bee and Puppy Cat are two cartoons that I hold very near and dear to my heart. I do think Steven Universe is, like, one of the greatest stories
I kind of
ever
had
told.
a feeling about that, actually. And it's only because I don't know much about it, but I know it has a lot of lore.
It's got a lot of what?
A lot of lore.
Yeah, for me, I'm more attracted to the storytelling elements. Lore is a good part of the plot, but the story is where the characters and the theme is explored, and that's what Steven Universe did really well. Was like, the plot is just about like this kid and aliens and figuring out their world building, but like the story is about biological determinism. Are we doomed to make the same mistakes as our parents? And the story that unfolds is, this traditional 3-act structure of a kid who wants to be like his mother because everyone acts like she's a goddess, because that's how you speak of people who have passed recently.
Right, yeah.
Then he kind of achieves that, but then wonders if he could ever really live up to it. And then when he gets there, he sees that she's kind of a terrible person, maybe a murderer. And now he's wondering if he can not be like her at all. Like, he wanted to be like her. Now he's wondering if it's possible to be different.
Well, also he also wondered if they like him because of his mother, due to him having him be birthed, she's gone, or because of himself.
And that's another great identity issue. And that's the thing, they explored so many great themes with that, all under the umbrella of just, grief, really, is what it's about. The whole show is tied together by this one death, because without that death, he has no birth. So it's all very well done. So the lore is great. I do love the lore, and it was fun to theorize about it for a while. But like, especially my original series that I did on Cartoon Universe, I didn't talk about the lore at all for like the first 15 videos. I just dissected their metaphors.
Okay, so my next question would be, what is your favorite cartoon series?
Favorite cartoon theory? Oh, there's... I had a theory that I really liked that I made about Steven Universe before I even joined Cartoon Universe, and actually it was that video that the creator of Cartoon Universe saw, and we kind of used that as my audition video to join the channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't want to go into too much detail on what exactly that is. But the biggest mystery was who killed Pink Diamond, or who shattered Pink Diamond in Steven Universe. And spoiler alert, for those who don't know, we found out that she never actually was shattered at all, but she took on the form of rose quartz. But up until that point, we saw that Steven had the power to take over other people's bodies and could even see through Blue Diamond's eyes, which implied that he had some connection with her, and Yellow Diamond seemed determined to cover it up. But yet no one knew exactly how Pink Diamond was shattered. So my theory was Rose Quartz had possessed Blue Diamond, which was why Steven was later able to see through her eyes, and then tried to poof Pink Diamond, but in doing so accidentally shattered her. And Yellow Diamond doesn't want the real truth to come out because she doesn't want Blue Diamond to realize that it was her hands that had done it. And I was really proud of that theory. Totally wrong, but...
Hey, you know, we make theories, we could be right, we could be wrong, but it doesn't really matter, because when we learn from them, we just move towards a more positive future.
Yeah, I mean, even when you get it, like, the end goal wrong, it ties together a lot of lore and often helps other people, like, figure out the right thing.
Exactly, yeah. So, what of Vivzie verse? Comic series would you most identify from any of them? Hell of a Boss, Hazbin Hotel, or even Zoophobia? As a character.
Oh, which character do I identify with? Oh.
Yeah. Because everyone always identifies as, they always say they identify as Alistair or Angel or whatever because of their, whatever past and stuff. But the thing is, when you really think deeply about it, who do you think that, really strikes you in the soul and thinks, well, they represent kind of what I'm like.
Oh, like personality-wise, I'm if anyone saw the Zoophobia short Bad Luck Jack, I feel like that's kind of close to what I am. I just, I don't have very good luck. Even in, I was trying to promote this live stream on the Cartoon Universe Discord server, and apparently we are not allowed to use the word hi in our server. Like, people were spamming it, so they made it so that it just deletes your entire comment and disappears. And when I'm doing this, I'm adding everyone. So I at everyone with the link to this, and then it just disappears and says I've been warned. And I have a co-creator title in this thing, so it's weird.
Wow. Yeah.
And just bad luck. So just lots of stupid bad luck all the time. Things are just constantly crashing down around me. Yeah, and sometimes it just feels like it pushes people away. So I kind of relate to him in that regard on the general level, but on the more deeper philosophical level, I think what really got me into the Vivzie verse was the Addict music video, the coda at the very end.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, I'm by no means a gay, drug-addicted prostitute, but
No.
the concept of
none of us here present.
You never know. Not throwing shade at any drug-addicted gay prostitutes out there, but for me personally, it was comparing being addicted to your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Which is something,
yeah.
Right, and it's something that you could take this gay drug-addicted prostitute and give him something that resonates with everyone, because I think everyone is, to some degree, at some point in their lives at least, really in a bad place, but also enjoying it to some degree. Because
I understand exactly what you're saying. It's like that you're in some area where you don't know it's not good necessarily, but you're there. You can't see a way out of that sort of predicament, and you're looking for that bright light, which isn't going to come. In your mind, you don't think it's going to come, but
So I'm more talking about the parts of us that revel in those experiences. Not that you can't see the light, but that you're kind of avoiding the light. The thing about Angel is because what he's talking about is being addicted to the sorrow. It feels good to him. And I think we've all been there. We've all thrown ourselves a pity party and had a good cry and woe is mead. And I just kind of really related to that, especially somewhat recently, within the last few years. My mentor passed away, and I started grieving very, very hardcore. and I still am really, but there was just some aspects of it that I was becoming sort of addicted to that sadness. And when you do that, it becomes hard to move on and be healthy, and that's what the whole song is really about. It's this guy who thinks he's having fun and partying, but what he's really addicted to is feeling bad about himself in the morning, and that's I think that resonates with me. It's a very Nancy Botland.
I think it's a very common thing with a lot of people to have that same sort of feeling, and when they watch that particular video, did actually, bring them out of their strife and stuff like that.
I think in some ways it can also be detrimental, that music video, just because it kind of encourages to keep being addicted. Like, obviously it ends with him putting down, his little cigarette thing, but the heart of it, we're attracted to these broken characters because they make us feel valid. So to some degree, when you're watching that, yes, it can help you, but it can also make you double down because it just adds to that sadness and that addictive feeling. You're like, oh wow, this is so beautiful, and I relate. So what I'm going through is beautiful. So it's kind of a tragic mess humans put themselves in over and over again.
Yeah. It has both elements. It's like people that are in there really deep, will see it as one way. And people that aren't necessarily, but see it that same way, will identify with it.
The beauty of this one, at the very least, is that because the whole point is, hey, maybe you shouldn't indulge. There's a lot of people, and even me, when I first watched it, I think it helped me indulge my sadness a little bit more, but there came a point where I was like, well, the point of this music video is to stop, to try and get better.
The point of that, though, is that sometimes people don't necessarily understand where that point is. And I think that's what it is we understand that there is a point where it's like, you can understand where the fun stops and you need to get real. But some people, they see it and they think, well, that's the fun life, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, not when it comes to the, addictive sorrow aspect, I would imagine. That's more self-indulging. But yeah, it's hard to know where to draw the line on all of those fronts. Because, the first 90% of the music video is exactly what you describe. It's people, being crazy and having fun and indulging, and clearly it's not healthy, but they don't know that, and we don't always know that.
No.
Sorry to interrupt, but Shadow Melee gave a super chat of $20.
Oh!
Saying, sorry to interrupt, but I understand that Star Wars used to be my thing. Until the new stuff came out, then I got into Warhammer 40k. So, and again, very sorry for interrupting, I didn't mean to.
What?
So we get super chats sometimes, and
one of my fans really loves, is it StarCraft or...
Warhammer 40k.
Warhammer 40k. I'm not that adept with Warhammer 40k, but they are very, very passionate about it. And
have you ever heard of the
we try to indulge them with all elements that we have. Do you know anything about Warhammer 40k?
Me personally, no. I don't get too much into video games. That is
you're about as knowledgeable as me.
Right.
Okay, so we'll push that forward and we'll say, hang on.
I think I have a Warhammer 40k art piece laying around
Emperor
here.
Will destroy your whatever Emperor they have. 5s to the 12 and stab into the 2. I think that'll do. Right, that's good. Fair play.
Wait, what?
It's fine. Don't worry.
I'm like, what's going on?
He's really drunk.
No.
I wish I had known. I would have poured you some whiskey.
Which Vivzie character? Oh, wait. Did we read that already?
I think I
Which
did that one,
Vivzie
yeah.
character do you most identify with? Did I say that
You already
already?
did that one. Next
Yes.
one.
Okay, so do you think the theory on Alistair's intentions in Hazbin Hotel or motives, you know,
Which theory?
or, well, the thing is, what do you think Alistair's intentions or hidden agenda is in Hazbin Hotel? Or do you just think he's just doing it for a fucking laugh?
No, pretty much since I started covering Hazbin Hotel, because I work with like lists of ideas that I have for videos, and I've had this idea for an Alistair theory video, like what his true intentions are, but
Exactly.
I've just never gotten around to like making it, and I don't know if it's enough for a full. I guess I could
don't
say
get me
some of
wrong.
it here.
I would not like to ask you anything that you might reveal on a video later date, but if you had a personal idea or a personal feeling about like what you think Alistair might do or what his intentions might be, they wouldn't affect your channel.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a bad idea to share it. Worst case scenario is other people give insight, and maybe I'll figure out how to make a full video out of it.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with this idea because Alistair seems interested in going to heaven itself. So while I'm sure he is being honest when he says he doesn't think it's possible, and I think he's going to, in many ways, sabotage things.
Yeah.
But I think his investment is less about the entertainment and more about the off chance that this could work. I think he wants to go there either for very, very wholesome reasons, such as his mother or someone he adores.
His sister's up there. Is it? No, it's not his sister.
I think you think of Angel.
It's I'm thinking of Anthony. Yeah. Oh God, what's his fucking name?
Angel Dust.
Angel Dust. Yeah.
Yeah. I think someone might be up there that he wants to see again, or worse, he wants to go up there and cause mayhem. We have reason to believe that he has one of the Exterminator Angel's weapons, which in theory could also be used against angels. Maybe he wants to kill and eat God himself.
Well, just to draw back to that, what gives you that impression that he has one of those?
So if you pay close attention to the background information, we do know that these items can be stolen from exterminating angels. Sometimes they just leave them behind.
Right.
And then they are sold on the black market. What makes Alistair such an anomaly...
Okay.
What makes Alistair such an anomaly in Hazbin Hell is he kind of appeared overnight with all this power, whereas everyone else had to really build up their power, and he overthrew overlords.
Yeah.
And immediately he was able to overthrow overlords who had been there. And when you say overthrow, that implies that most of them are still alive. But in a place where no one can die, it seems like the easiest way to have power is with an exterminator's weapon. I wouldn't be surprised if he just showed up, like manifested the day of the extermination right by one of those weapons, and now no one can stand in his way. Right,
I got you, yeah. It does make sense, actually, because, I mean, like, when they say overnight he literally had the status of, like, being overlord, he must have been, like, slaying people left, right, and center.
Something like that. It's hard because we still don't know entirely how the internal mechanics of Hazbin Hell works. They say you can't die except for an exterminator's weapons, but some characters can die.
Angelic weapons. In weapons that are angelic imbued.
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it's the exterminator's weapons, but there's also, like, imps can maybe die. Charlie might only live to be, like, millions of years old, but still not live forever. It's, we don't really know.
Right.
It's like, self-born demons that live in hell have a lifespan like they do on Earth. But
supposedly.
But humans that become demons, are quite literally immortal because it's their torment.
That's what they say, but it raises a lot of questions, such as, like, you know, in the first episode, we see someone crushed to death by a boulder. What does that mean to keep living in hell? Does he heal? Does he respawn somewhere else but weaker? And particularly, it gets crazy when you know that there's a cannibal colony, as we saw in one of the Hazbin Hotel comics featuring a day in the life of Alistair.
We actually covered that one. We actually covered that one ourselves.
So what happens to these demons when they're chopped up and eaten? Because, like, if the idea is you grow back, well, from which point? There's a lot of questions about that, and a really frustrating thing for me working in this field is you say something in a video and people will all chime in the comments thinking that they have the exact right answer because they heard something in a live stream once, but they take it so out of context. They just remember the general idea and they treat that as like gospel, when clearly there's either a nuance here that Vivzie Pop has considered or she hasn't considered it at all, which is why it's so confusing.
It might be the latter because it's like very common in that sort of like sense, where you come up with a theory or an idea, and you just sort of think of like how the opposite or what might not happen from that perspective.
Yeah, I just more think in terms of her own lore. I think she just might not have thought it through, because looking back at Zoophobia, there seemed to be some plot holes as well. Things she could dance around and explain later, but things she introduced in relation to other things that just didn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But hopefully, I like to think there's an answer. If there's another live stream she does, I'll be right there just spamming that question.
Me too. I'll be straight there.
Yeah.
So, do you have a theory on Alistair, particularly? That's what we were talking about. Intentions in... Oh, actually, we already spoke about that, really, didn't we?
Yes, we just answered that one.
Okay, so if you could voice a character from the Vivzieverse, it could be any series. Doesn't matter if it's Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss, Zoophobia, or anything else that Vivzie's done. Is there any character that you could identify with that you would like to voice?
I'm not a very talented voice actor. I really hate my voice too. Like, I did not choose a very good career path for someone who hates being on camera and hates hearing his own voice, because that's like 50% of my job.
But you have a very, very sort of like, energetic and phototonic voice.
What tonic voice?
Phototonic.
Phototonic. What does that mean? I've never heard that before.
It basically means it's like
the audio version of photogenic.
You know how movie voices go, and now in theaters today. That sort of voice. Phototonic.
See, that's impressive. If I could do that, I would be very, very secure in myself.
See, I can't do that, but I know
you literally just did it.
No, but but that's not real. But you sound like the person that can do that. You have that very sort of like, stern and very sort of like, you know what you're gonna say when you're gonna say it, so it's like perfect for that.
Wow. Well, thank you. I don't see myself that way very much at all. Even when I'm like doing the videos on YouTube, like I read from a script. Like I write the whole thing out first and read from it. But I just don't. I don't know. Maybe we all kind of look at our own work and think that it doesn't have that like professional touch that we see in everyone else's. Because like when you did your example, I was like, that's amazing. Why can't I do that? There was a time though, like when you okay?
I'm good.
All right.
I was drinking drugs from Emily went down the wrong hole.
What?
I was drinking the Dr. Pepper and it went down the wrong hole.
I apologize.
Sorry.
I was just remembering. Before because right now working at Cartoon Universe is my full-time job, which is like, weird to think about still, even though it's been like.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's amazing, like, you know, feat in itself.
Yeah, it's scary. It's a little scary because when you know, we're more of a news kind of thing. People don't really come to the channel for me. But I remember
anyway, I hopped on the channel because you had a couple of theories, you had a couple of ideas and stuff, and I'm always interested in ideas and theories. And I'm like, give it to me. Give me your goods. You know what I mean? I want to lap it all up. And I watched it, and I was totally entertained. Perfect entertainment. It was great. I watched about 3 of your videos, and on Hazbin, that is. And yeah, it was great. It was great. But the most, and I said this before, the most impressive thing was that you pronounced Maine correctly.
I felt like that was really obvious. Like, I mispronounce so many things. I get everyone's pronouns wrong all the time, but I guess I got that one right. So
you're a legend in that, and we support you for that one.
You'd be surprised how many people say Magne instead of Maine.
Magne,
I guess
Magna.
because it's like,
yeah. It's
because they listed as a last name, people might not make the connection to like Charlemagne, but
exactly. Yes. Hit the nail on the head, isn't it? Hit the head.
For me, it was just like I did a lot of research before I made my first video. Like I had to read everyone, because the first one we did was a character video. So like you look at the characters, you figure out what their names are, and you know why it would be pronounced like Charlie Maine instead of Charlie Magne. But yeah, I remember. Sorry, I wanted to circle back to this when we were talking about the voices. I had before this became my full-time job. I did have a part-time job up at Universal Studios, and I remember when some of the girls at my work first found out about this channel. One of them was like, "Do the voice," and I was I had to like bust out like
do the voice.
Yeah, they were just do the voice. So like right there in front of like all my coworkers, I had to be like, "What's up, guys? I'm Deep Cut. Your YouTube. Welcome back to Cartoon Universe." And today, you know, and they thought that was really funny. But to me, you know, it just sounds like me doing a bad voice.
Well, no, see, that's you on your own sort of like, but everyone else, it's like, oh man, that's the epic. That's you know. We're watching a real YouTuber, a professional YouTuber.
I mean, you are a professional too. I mean, you know.
Technically, in some way, I'm more of a I kind of like slide in there, in the professional sense.
I feel like we all think of and that's kind of what I mean here. It's kind of just interesting how we all see ourselves as like this amateur who just is kind of getting lucky for a little while. But when we see other people do the exact same thing, we think of it as like professional, clean, technically accurate. Like your voice. Like I was actually earlier, I was going to ask, have you heard of a radio play called Wormwood?
Wormwood, yes, I have. Yeah.
Were you in Wormwood?
I wasn't, unfortunately.
Okay.
No.
I thought you sound exactly like the main character, and it's terrifying.
Oh really? Oh. Blimey. I might have to message them and copyright strike them for their goddamn video.
Well,
I'm joking.
They're far gone now, but that would have been I once worked with one of the actresses from the show as well, so I thought that would be
really?
Yeah. She was in my thesis film back in film school actually.
Oh,
and I found out afterwards. I was just listening to the radio play again for fun, and then I went to the set the next day being like, I recognize your voice now. But yeah.
That's quite amazing, actually. That's pretty cool.
Small town, or big one, I guess, but...
Well, that's what they say. I mean, the town is as big as it is, but it's always small. Like, I could be in the UK, you could be in the US, but we could always cross paths very, very quickly. Small town, but it's so big. You know what I mean?
It's insane. I've had I remember one time I moved from Guam to Maryland to Delaware. And when I got to Delaware, I found out that someone that had moved to Guam a few months before I left, someone I knew like personally who was in my class, also lived in Delaware where I was now going to school. Little things like that. I remember going to school with someone in Puerto Rico, and then I met them again in high school when I was living in Guam.
Wow. That's insane.
You know, granted, we were all military children, so like you're going to get stationed in a lot of similar places. But in some cases, you
I mean, my missus, she's a military child herself.
Yep, military brat.
Fun lifestyle.
No.
No, you didn't like it?
No. We had to move every 2 years.
Yeah, same.
I hated it.
Yeah.
And also, I'm at the age where back then there was no internet, there was no social media. So even if I wanted to get a hold of all my old friends back in where I used to live and whatever, there's no way. The only person I've gotten into contact was my childhood best friend. And that's because he lived in the same state as my grandma and grandpa.
Wow. For me, it was kind of the inverse. I avoid social media like the plague, so I was never really good about keeping up with people. And I don't know, because I did it from like the day I was born, there was always just this understanding that what you had was beautiful in the moment, but that you're going to go on and feel very similar things for other people. And that was both inspiring and disillusioning.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really care for it. I wish I could be like other people and say, "Oh yeah, we've lived in this place for so long. We still have best friends from middle school or elementary or whatever." Like that's what I hate. That's the thing I hate about being a military brat is not really having a best friend at that time and stuff like that. That's just me.
No, I get it. Like I said, I do adore the lifestyle. I went to 5 high schools. Like I've turned like the list of places I've been to almost into a rap. But when it comes to there is that issue, especially when you're just trying to make friends and everyone there has a best friend, someone they've known oftentimes since kindergarten. Even like if you're living somewhere in the military, with other military students, a lot of them have just moved as well. So they still think of their friends from before, even though they don't see them anymore. They think of them as your best friend. And they don't think of you as your best friend until either you or them move away, because then you're the thing they're missing next. But yeah, that is definitely a really tragic thing. And it kind of made me question a lot about myself, but that's not clear.
It was to the point where we finally we finally decided to stay in one place because my dad retired and then my mom retired later on, whatever, because they were lifers. And what is it called? Then I actually wished I would move every 2 years.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the travels. Like I never would have been able to see Puerto Rico and Guam and Okinawa if I
went to Guam.
Yeah,
Guam is so good.
Guam is a big element in Lizzie's life.
Wait, what? Oh shoot! What years were you there?
During the 9/11.
Okay, so I moved there like 2004, 2005. Were you there?
No, I came back to the U.S. because my parents were having issues, and so my mom had to leave early.
Okay, yeah,
I was there 2001, 2002.
Okay, I was going to say you could have left like right before I got there. Like I could have like moved into your house on McMillan. What made you do that?
Wow.
My mom moved off the base so that way she can live with me. We lived in Ocarina Heights.
Oh, wait, so did you have one of those Chamorro mansions?
No, we lived in a Chamorro mansions. No,
they fit like 3 or 4 generations.
Okay. It was a hotel.
Yeah, I had a mansion.
It was a hotel that had what is it called? Condos in it. So we lived in a condo.
See, if you might as well just live on base at that point. Just to clarify, and hey, we'll wrap this tangent up and get back to Hazbin, but in Guam, it's very common for 2 to 4 generations of people to live under one roof together.
Yeah.
So they have to have really big houses, even though they're not very fancy. So they would call them Chamorro mansions because they're just like enormous, because they're meant to have like 20 people living in them. Whereas like when you're
pretty much,
scoop it up for an okay price.
Where the fuck is my lighter?
I actually miss Guam, but go ahead, honey.
Banana Lumpia.
So I mean that's quite in depth, and wow, more
Sorry about the
information than I actually asked for.
My apologies.
No apologies. Great stuff.
I'm never gonna meet another Chamali.
I just don't know if my next question is going to be, it's going to be just received well enough because of that.
How so? What's the question?
Display of stuff, which is, what's your favorite video game?
Oh, God, I really suck at favorites questions.
Okay,
it's funny. Like,
so what is a game that you played recently that you really, really like?
I have played Ocarina of Time about 10 times back to back recently.
Oh wow!
So you're a Zelda fan?
Not necessarily. And
Not
this is why
necessarily a Zelda fan back and back, hardcore. I love Zelda, this is my Zelda cosplay. But you like Zelda at the moment.
I do like the N64 era. I am working on a 3D animated series to serve as a sequel to Majora's Mask. If you ever saw my apartment, it's like covered in Majora's Mask paintings.
Yeah.
But Ocarina of Time was like an important part of my childhood, and now they have this thing called the Ocarina of Time Randomizer, which lets you play the game out of order, which is such a new experience.
Wow.
And I just have a friend, he comes over about once a week, he's coming over tomorrow, and we just get really drunk playing that game all
Best
day.
way to play.
Yeah. It's the only one, because I'm getting to the point where I'm so good at it that I need to be drunk. Otherwise it's
you know, right? I think being drunk actually acts as a kind of handicap, and that way, it's like, can I play this while I'm absolutely slaughtered? With on the highest setting and still complete it. Let's see.
That's the goal, and we were doing like Master Quest dungeons, and there's a lot of ways to like remix it, so it's very fun. I highly recommend it. But yeah, Zelda's something very near and dear to me. Not necessarily my favorite. I was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog growing up. Let me tell you. I never created an OC, but I had a problem. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get, like, tested for certain disorders. Y'all know. But I just loved the originals and the adventure era. I just fell in love with Sonic Adventure 2 in particular. It had so much replay value. But as far as, like, a recent game, I want to say Hollow Knight nearly ruined my job for me.
Oh, no.
I don't play video games very much. Recently, I've been playing them a lot more, but like I got really into filmmaking in 8th grade, and I just stopped playing video games for years at that point. I haven't had like a current generation system since the GameCube. But then my roommate has an Xbox. I downloaded Hollow Knight because it looked cool, and for about 2 weeks straight, that was all I did.
Wow. I actually have a question for your channel, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I noticed you obviously do theories. Have you ever debunked theories?
I haven't debunked theories yet. We talked about doing like 10 has-been theories that are probably not true. Namely, the only one I think of that really comes to mind is Vaggie being one of the exterminators.
I've heard about that theory.
Yeah, so recently, and this is actually how I got connected to you guys, was I went on a zoophobia hunt trying to find because as a lot of people know, Hazbin Hotel characters and plot lines were originally meant to be just one arc in zoophobia. And I just kind of went on this deep dive to figure out everything I could about the original story, and even then, Vaggie had a lot of various different designs. They changed her a lot, but she still held a lot of the same designs that she has now. And while that looks like the exterminators now, she was still a demon back in that original story. So I imagine they're sticking with that.
I think that sounds fair.
Yeah. But if it happens, that's great. I would love to see that happen. So that's not foo-fooing anyone who likes that theory. Plus, Vivzie Pop changes things all the time. Originally, she wanted her could have died in the 80s, and then recently said it would be in the last few years that she went to hell. So it's possible she even saw the theory and thought, you know what, I'm using that.
Well, the thing is, I think with Vivzie, is like it's kind of like a what's the word? It's like a situational thing where the theory or the canon comes out when she feels like it should. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when she says something is gonna happen or something is happening or this person is this or whatever, that's the right time for that person to have that element in their storyline, wherever it's been displayed in the storyline, anywhere, shape or form. Which is where the Twitter artists go absolutely insane. They blast Twitter with fucking comic dub, not comic dubs, but comic art and all different, displays of artworks to display what she said within like seconds of her saying it.
It's crazy. Very rabid fan base. Not rabid.
Oh, very. Yeah.
Very enthusiastic is probably the best word.
It's very enthusiastic is probably the better word. And my channel, when I started doing stuff, I was very on board with that. It's slowed down, but that's because there's so much out there right now. It's hard to keep up with everything that everyone's doing. I mean, I don't even cover everything that everyone else is doing. If I was covering everything that everyone did, I'd have like 600 videos a day, probably.
Yeah, and you already do with videos, like, I was looking at your channel, I was like, you do at least one a day, sometimes more.
Sometimes
and I'm
more,
just
yeah.
like, I don't, like, I'm considered a very fast editor. Like, I'm able to get some of my videos out in a 4-hour time frame. But for me, it's just, I guess maybe there's a little less because we cover theories, and I don't like to use other people's theories. I like to use my own.
Yes.
And that hasn't stopped me from doing it before, but it's just, it feels
absolutely
less sketchy when you use your own.
Feels genuine.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not even a matter of like, if I see someone else has done it, but I had the idea on my own, I don't care. Like, it's mine.
Well,
I can do
the
what
thing is, you got your own perspective. That is the difference. Whether the theory is the same, you always have your own perspective on everything that comes involved with it. So, like, different elements, different characters, different placements, different timelines, all sorts of stuff.
Sometimes, but there's like a Dragon Prince theory that I put out there that I was like, there really wasn't any room for negotiation on. It was just this person's theory, and I put it up there, and it turned out to be true. But I was like, it just wasn't mine, so it's not as fun. But yeah, I've gotten much better at being able to put together my own theories and ideas. So
I think it comes with experience. I mean, you've been doing that for a bit as well. So the more you do it, the more you become more adept with a better understanding of things.
Definitely.
So I'm totally down with that as well. I mean, like with me, with what I do, it's the same kind of process. Understanding different characters, understanding different feelings, thoughts, and the way these fan artists put their thought into the characters, and I keep that in mind, and then put that in with my next dub, for example. It's it's the next level because it's like I'm not going there going blah 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 blah. I'm putting the feeling in. I'm putting what they feel. The character has in that scene or sketch throughout the whole thing, and trying to like convey it the best way that I can for them. Because initially, although I'm doing it on my channel, I'm doing it really to promote them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people even realize how much, like, not even the work itself, because like I said, I can sit down and put out a video in 4 hours if I need to. But so much work goes into just thinking about these things. I don't think people realize, and it warps your brain. I find that, like, no matter what I watch, or even just, it might not even be entertainment like TV, movies, or books, but I'll be thinking about something, and the way I word it in my head now is as a YouTube video.
Yes.
And then suddenly I'm like, why would I ever make a video about this? Why am I guess it's just how you recontextualize your thoughts when you do this sort of work long enough.
Yeah. You reconstruct the idea of what you think people might want to see as a title to grasp them in.
That's my least favorite
to look
part.
At any of your stuff. I mean, it's like a video I did recently, which was the story of Lucifer and Lilith. It's basically a collection of the dubs I've done with Lucifer and Lilith, me being Lucifer and Lilith being played by other people, from last year till now, in a compilation. And I thought I could call it Lucifer Lilith compilation, but that's boring. Nobody cares. Yeah. If I call it the story of Lilith and Lucifer, people will be more interested. They'll be like, oh, I want to know about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can put like the life of Lucifer and Lilith.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll spend a lot of time. And what's worse is we won't necessarily, because, you know, I work with Haley on these. I produce the videos, but she's kind of the guidance for all of this. But I'll be like, okay, what exactly should our title be? And a lot of the time, we don't even really figure out what it is until afterwards. But there's certain videos where
sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. You look at the product and you think to yourself, you know, what can we call this? What can we call this that's going to snap people into watching it? What we're going to call it that's going to, like, capture people's, you know, visions straight away.
Yeah. It's a bit scary too, because like sometimes there's two ideas, you don't know which one's going to make it go viral.
Precisely, yeah. Because sometimes it can go two ways.
Yeah, I mean, we have some videos that are like, you know, I think our highest Hazbin videos at like 700,000 right now. But then we also have videos that are just like 20,000.
Yeah, you know,
and it's all titles.
I'm there as well. And I understand that. It's like, you know, the title of the video is the capture, it's the hook for you know, for your audience to bring them in. So when you get that audience, and the thumbnail is also very important. That thumbnail has to really, like, grab their eyeballs and suck it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm just, at that point, I'm usually so lazy, because I tend to do the editing, unless I'm binge editing, which I do sometimes, but I'll generally, you know, do it the night before.
I've been there as well. With the lazy. Like, I mean, like, I've just taken, like, 2 clips from the comic dub I've done, and they've been quite boring, and I've, like, put them together, and it doesn't really look that exciting when you look at the thumbnail. It's like, it's just, it's 2 dudes. But, like, the one I put up, like, recently, I really made, like, a proper effort on it. It's Lucifer and Gabriel, and everyone's established with the 2 characters. So when they see him, they're like, oh, big story stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. You just never know what's going to work. But thumbnails are just, sometimes, like, it all goes through approval through Haley, and sometimes she'll approve it immediately, so it was only a 10-minute job. Sometimes we go back and forth for 2 hours, which, when you've already worked for 16 hours that day on a long video, you're done. You're ready to stop.
No, I'm down with that. Where was with the question? What was the last question I asked you?
Oh, I don't.
Was it what character do you identify with?
Yeah,
Was that-
Sudi seen that one.
That was the last one, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a question that breaks all the boundaries. All the boundaries. Do you play video games?
So we kind of answered this with all the video game questions.
Well, there we go. Okay, so the next question is actually related, and it is, if a hang on, this is my type, and I have to read. It's terrible. If they made a video game of Hazbin Hotel, what genre of game do you think would be the best?
Oh,
RPG, RTS, FPS, or platform?
which one is
Dating
RTS?
sim.
Which one is RTS?
Real-time
Real-time
strategy.
strategy.
Do you remember, like, Call of Duty? Not Call of Duty. What's that fucking game called? Red Alert. What's it called? Command & Conquer. Do you remember Command & Conquer from way back in the day?
No, but I know what real-time strategy more or less means.
there you go.
I mean,
Yeah.
if those are my only choices, I feel like an RPG makes the most sense.
RPG for Hazbin Hotel. Definitely.
Yeah, because it gives you a
I
lot of
think-
room.
Like old school Zelda type thing.
Old school Zelda's more adventure, isn't it? Or like
A
platforming.
little bit,
Oh,
yeah.
that's-
But if you incorporate it, like going into different zones and stuff, walking through different towns, influencing different people, that kind
With
of.
RPG, I think more like turn-based things like Pokemon or Final Fantasy X. And I kind of Final Fantasy X is kind of what I imagine. But if I could choose something off the list, I feel like those kind of choose your own adventure, like Telltale games that they do. I feel
Telltale
like
games
that-
are very, very good for this stories, the story element of things.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of a lazy answer, I guess, since it would just be like whatever allows it to be the most like the show. But yeah, I could see them having a lot of fun playing with the concept of redemption through your choices. Like you're making the choice whether or not to be a better person,
Yeah, no, I could get that.
and that's what leads to the different endings. But yeah, if not that, then probably like RPG. I like platformers. I just feel like imagining these characters platforming when a lot of it's just kind of like underworld politics wouldn't quite work.
I think Hell of a Boss would be a better platform game, or a first-person shooter than
that's a
an
good point.
RPG. That you can imagine. You're taking the you could pick either Blitz, Millie, Moxie, or even Luna on a first-person shooter, or a platform, and just fucking wreck shit.
I know we're on a delay, but I just want to ask everyone, was anyone else upset that Millie's voice changed from the pilot to the main series? Because I loved her voice in the pilot, and I do not like it in the series.
I'm
I
gonna
think
be
it's
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I liked her voice in the pilot, and I really adored it. When she spoke in the series, I was not 100%, and Blissy will tell you this. I wasn't 100%. I was like, I'm not sure. Episode 3, she warmed up to me a little bit more. Only a little bit more.
I just can't shake it. I feel like normally it's not that big an issue for me, but her voice in the pilot was just like so sweet. It just worked so well. Like you could replace so many
She had
voices.
a sweet southern accent. She was gorgeous, Yeah.
And whereas her new voice, I don't want to throw shade at the actress.
Oh
I'm
no,
sure
she's not. The thing is, the
just
current
feels
voice
like
actress, she's a talented voice actress, and we love her and all the rest of it. But it's so different. It's a massive contrast.
It felt like just any random person doing a southern accent, whereas the original, it felt like southern was the basis, and then they threw personality on top of it.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
feel
just
it.
my interpretation. I know other people feel differently.
I liked both, to be honest. I think it's because in the first one, people didn't believe. I was telling people that she has a southern accent, right? And people didn't believe me.
Almost every
And
episode.
because I do Voice of Millie with another channel. Eventually, I'll do it on mine. But it's one of those things.
And
One of the
on
reasons
mine.
why I like the and on yours.
And
Yeah. It's just that in the first one, it wasn't really, I guess, put out more that she was Southern. Only like certain things, but then she goes back to going English, whatever. So I like the series more than I do the pilot, mainly because of the fact that her Southernness did come out more in the series. My opinion.
Just had one line in the pilot where she's just they're talking about the commercial and how no one likes it, and then Millie's like, "Well, I liked it," and the way she said it was just like it felt like a real character, whereas the current voice just feels Southern and not much else. But that's just me. It's just my opinion.
That's all you can do.
I think that's the best statement. Yeah.
I didn't like the new Stolas though.
I
feel like I like both for different reasons.
See, I preferred the old Stolas with the deepness, like blood fear. I preferred that sort of that tone.
Yeah.
But the new one now, he has grown on me, and I get with it. It's cool.
I think I like the old one because imagining him doing all the swears and being vulgar felt less obnoxious. It was more of a jarring surprise because with his new voice, I don't know, the idea is supposed to be oh, he's upper class, he's aristocratic, and yet he's vulgar. But with his voice, it just doesn't quite ring true. Whereas in the pilot, yes, that's exactly how that feels.
Yeah. See, that's how I felt. That's how I felt.
But yeah.
Okay, so my next controversial question is: how do you feel about Vivzie sort of mixing the different religions and beliefs into one, and then making her own sort of law based on it? For example, Satan and Lucifer being two different people, Samael, Lucifer, being two separate entities altogether.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, so I think that's really the only way you can really do it. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw anything that got into this kind of lore that tried to be accurate about it. We're all taking... And that's the thing. To say there is any accuracy to begin with, Satan and Lucifer are, within the Christian canon, different people. But within that Christian canon, there are separate canons that say that Lucifer was, the first angel to come down because he thought he was better than God, and there were others who just thought he could only play music better than God. And there's no I'm sure if we really worked hard at it, we can go back and.
But Lucifer did play music better than God. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm sure if someone did research, you can find the first written example that says what this person really did. But even that comes after who knows how many years of oral tradition, verbal history. So there is to me, it doesn't feel like she's blending so much as she's just taking what exists and restructuring it.
Yeah, see, now I agree with all of that. It's there are elements for different things that are taken from different elements of different beliefs and stuff, thrown into one as a great big kind of a messed up ball of everything. And then you've got everyone else that's oh no, Samael and Lucifer are the same person. Satan and Lucifer are the same person, but that's naivety in some senses, because I mean, when you go back to like where they've been depicted, it's like the New Testament or something else that's been rewritten over and over and over again. When you go back to the original and you look back, you're like, you actually see that the two people are, you know, separate. But Vivzie as well, she's taking other elements and then putting them together to make her own sort of canon for what she believes, well, not necessarily believes, but like what she would like to, you know, depict as her own hell story.
Yeah, there's really just, there is no real, like, anyone trying to follow like a very realistic, or not realistic, but a very faithful approach. They're just setting themselves up. I remember people get upset over so many things, like Alistair is somewhat modeled after a Wendigo. And saying that in a video will get you hundreds of comments of people who are really uppity saying, oh, that's not really a Wendigo. Wendigos don't actually have antlers or look like deer. That's just modern fan art. I'm like, yes. So what you're saying is, you know exactly what I'm saying, but you're being an ass. And that's the same thing would happen if you tried to be accurate to the Bible. Like, and there's no real answer. Because it all comes from just people who had ideas thousands of years ago, and then their children changed it, and their children changed it. There's no reality.
Exactly.
So, and I think she does a wonderful job the way she does it. I know she's interested in bringing in like Eldritch or Lovecraftian elements in a later season. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's no other way to do it. Even I think people don't even realize, like, a lot of people want to use, well, the Bible is the answer. And it's like, well, hell is only mentioned in the Bible like twice, if I'm not mistaken, and it wasn't even called hell. Right, it was called Sheol. And don't quote me on this because I could be wrong.
It has different names. They don't necessarily name the realm of hell as hell. They only say it twice, which is at the beginning. Well, twice at the beginning of the Bible, which is like when Lucifer falls and when he's already fallen. And that's
so I don't remember. I remember it being mentioned almost offhandedly later when one of the characters dies, saying he has gone to Sheol, and what they really are saying there is the land without God.
Yes.
And even the Bible itself, like between translations, and then when you move past the translations and realize that it used to be an entire library of different books with different stories. Or different versions of I think there were like 5 different versions of, I forget the name of the man who was sent into the lion's den. And then even now we relatively recently found the Dead Sea Scrolls, which reveal, like, we have this idea of like God being mad at humans, so he punishes them with the flood. But the truth was, or at least according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, angels came down and slept with the daughters of man and created
the
these
Watcher
giants.
Angels. Yes, the Watcher Angels. They were curious about human beings, and they came down to Earth and slept with the women. Yeah.
And then that created these giants that were eating people, and the only way to kill them was to create a flood. So there's just so many things that have been like reinterpreted and recontextualized. And Vivzie's just continuing that trend in a great way.
Well, that's, I mean, like, she's following the stem along, maybe taking some ideas from here, there, and everything, and put it into one. But the thing is, it's nothing that none of us are really thinking that may or may not be one of those things that could actually be possible in that universe. In my personal opinion.
Yeah, there's I personally love the way she's mixed in the more pagan aspects of Christianity that came later. Stolas in the Book of Solomon, or sorry, the Lesser Key of Solomon. You know, that's a lot of fun.
I actually did a drunk story. I wasn't actually drunk, but the portray was I was, you know, really, really drunk. And Charlie was there, and Alistair was there, and I was talking about how his sister was having sex with her sister or brother or whatever it was. It was so weird. It was such a weird story. But yeah, it's really messed up. But yes.
Good times.
Yes, pretty much. So, the final question that I have that I'd like to ask you is, which of the two series do you think has the longest lifespan? Hell of a Boss or Hazbin Hotel? Hell of a Boss being, like a Family Guy. No, not Family Guy. Like an American Dad type, show where it's all quick, fucking whip, jokes here, there, everywhere. 100 miles per hour of machine gun fire. Or Hazbin Hotel, which is maybe what you might consider, I don't know, Family Guy, a little bit more slow paced, but maybe not as fast paced as Family Guy.
I want to say Hazbin has the longer lifespan, just because Helluva is built upon one premise, and I guess that's kind of true for Hazbin. I just feel like Hell of a Boss was essentially built in order to explore lore, while Hazbin Hotel is in production.
Right. Yeah. No,
whereas Hazbin Hotel is about a story. So, like, Hell of a Boss, they've said it's going to be more about exploring the Seven Rings and Earth, and Hazbin Hotel is going to be in the Pride Ring and exploring the concepts of redemption. She said Hazbin, she needs about 3 seasons to tell the story, but she would love to have more. She would like to do a season focusing on, like, the Von Eldritch family after they wrap up their main plot. Whether that would really be Hazbin Hotel at that point, because, like, technically it would be kind of like Hell of a Boss becoming its own thing, maybe with some of the same characters. But Hazbin, I feel like, has more of a lifespan, because even when you finish exploring its lore, the characters feel like they can continue. Whereas Hell of a Boss, fun characters, but they're mostly there to explore the world and give
it's a quick sort of in and out, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we're going to see some emotional stuff coming up for them too, don't get me wrong. And you got to remember, they were originally supposed to be Hazbin Hotel characters.
Yes, I did hear about that. Yeah.
But yes, I think Hazbin probably has the longer potential for a lifespan, but who's to say where this will go?
Who knows? I mean, who knows what could happen in the future?
Isn't there talks of Zoophobia becoming a series as well?
That's a possibility.
So from what I understand, and I'm not on, like, her Patreon, I should probably sign up to that if I'm going to be doing news about her. But from what I understand, she wanted to reboot it as a comic, and right now she has a plan for several shorts, and it feels like the shorts are hopefully opening the door to do a series about it. But it seems the way Hazbin Hotel has taken off, I'm sure she'd like to get back to Zoophobia one day, but she outlined that story very heavily. And when you do that and you only get to the end of your first volume, it doesn't leave that much fun stuff to explore later on. You kind of get through all the fun stuff in the planning stages when you do something that long and that deep. So I just feel like she's just less concerned about it. I'm sure there will be more stuff, more shorts. But especially with her running 2 shows right now, I kind of hope she doesn't get to it. I would love to see it.
I mean, that's the other thing, isn't it? She's doing Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss, at Zoophobia. That's 3 things, and, she's one person. And she's trying to manage all these things. I mean, it's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, and there's other people who help
boss stuff out, and working on the Hazbin Hotel stuff, possibly planning the Zoophobia, but it's like it must be all up there, in her head, being all fucking spaghetti. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think she wants to get back there someday, but I would not be surprised if she finishes Hazbin, finishes Helluva, and just moves on to something new. we all in the creative field have projects we worked on when we were really young that seemed so important to us. But then when you get there in the end, it's just not as important anymore, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she wanted to create an epic that encompassed all these ideas, and now all these ideas are getting their own stories. So what does she really need them for? Maybe she will bring it back, but as like a much smaller story.
Who knows? And maybe, I mean, this is a question that I didn't have, but would you agree, although it's not been confirmed, and Vivzie did say that it would not be, it wouldn't be canonistic, but do you think that, like, Zoophobia, Hell of a Boss, and Hazbin Hotel could exist in the same universe?
So she's confirmed that they do not, but she does have plans.
I know she confirmed they don't. Zoophobia is completely separate. But do you think that it's possible that it could?
So I'm not quite sure what you mean. The reason, because originally they were the same story.
What I mean is, it's like, for example, let me just take one element. Like Lucifer is the king of hell. He's the prince of the pride ring. But Satan is a completely separate entity, and he exists in the wrath ring. And his sibling, or his son.
So Lucifer does exist in Zoophobia.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Damien's father is Lucifer.
Yeah. Oh, Damien's father. I thought Damien's father was Satan.
It was Satan.
Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I'm pretty sure. I think it might even be interchangeable within that show.
That's the point I'm saying. They change over. That Damien's father is Satan, and Satan is the prince of the Wrath Ring, who is also the king of all of hell, but is also the father of Damien from Zoophobia. But Lucifer is completely separate because Lucifer is a fallen angel and is only the prince of the Pride Ring. So they could
in
make
Zoophobia,
it canon.
They can't. So I just looked it up. They do refer to Lucifer as Damien's father is Lucifer in Zoophobia.
Right.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah. It says his nicknames are the devil,
because,
Satan.
A
different Lucifer, yeah.
Yeah. He has the horns and the goat look.
Yeah, it's definitely a different Lucifer. But
that's the thing. See, that's the thing. If they'd have separated those two, they could have made Zoophobia, Hazbin Hotel, and Hell of a Boss interchangeable between each all thing with no contrasting crossovers. It would have just been, it would just blend between them all.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Zoophobia, it was they didn't develop hell as much as it has been Hotel, obviously.
Yeah.
But they had developed it enough that there was no way they could pursue the story that they're doing now and have it work. So it just doesn't fit. Now, my thing is, I don't see why, maybe she wants to keep the Angels and Demons arc that she had planned for Zoophobia in Zoophobia, but with new characters. Yeah. And maybe that's why she was doing that. But I feel like it's a missed opportunity for her not to reboot Zoophobia and make it fit by just removing the Lucifer and the elements about hell.
Exactly.
Or even just tying it in. Like, that's the thing is, it doesn't need to be mentioned.
Some way, absolutely.
But we don't know what her long-term plan is. And it might just be a case of the lore.
I mean, the thing is with Vivzie, she's always changing her canon, on every live stream. She said one thing one time, and she said another thing another time, and it's like, well, where are we now? Where are we now? Because everything's up in the air. It's all loose ends. All frayed. It's a string. We don't know what's going to happen until it actually happens. So, there isn't really any conclusive, answers to what might be in the future. But it's definitely intriguing to find out.
That being said, have you seen my Vivzie verse video, the one that explains how they're connected?
I have. Hang on, is that the one I watched? That might be the one I actually watched.
So here's
because
a fun
I
one.
think that's the one I watched, and I was really, really intrigued by all of that, and that was one of the reasons why I actually contacted you in the first place.
Okay, yeah. So it was. I think the title was "How God Connects the Hazbin Hotel Multiverse."
Yes, I did watch that one.
Cool.
Yes,
Awesome.
I did watch that one.
I won't give the whole shtick, but for those interested, you could check out the channel. It's in the description. But the rundown is on the Blitz Instagram account, which is not necessarily canon. There is a whole bunch of references to Blitz being saved by a weird magical horse who appears very distorted in his reality, and she acts as a sort of hand of God when he gets kidnapped. She busts in and saves him almost. And this horse, by the way, is called Spindle Horse, which is the name of the production company that Vivzie started that works on this. So it seems to me that the Spindle Horse is kind of this god of all these shows who like peeks her head in and out of each universe, but only some people can see her.
Precisely, a bit like how Vivzie is, all the main cast from Hazbin Hotel's mum.
Basically, yeah, she's and Spindle really is just. We want to say it's the company just because it might not just be her who makes decisions about how that goes.
Exactly, yeah.
But at the end of the day, Spindle Horse is just an in-world version of Vivzie, kind of poking fun at the entire concept,
pretty much,
which is great.
Which is a great thing. It's a fourth wall breaking thing, but also it allows the audience to realize that all this is just a great laugh. And we're all here together to have a gag at whatever we're watching, whether it be like biblical, whether it be like spiritual, or whatever. It's just a laugh, nothing to be taken serious, and that's the point.
Oh, I mean, I take it a little seriously, but I definitely I agree. It is entertainment at the end of the day.
Entertainment, yes.
Yeah. It's art, it's thematic, it's soul searching, but it is entertainment. When something in this medium is not entertainment, then it's just a speech.
Yeah, it's either a speech or it's annoying.
It was the same thing. The two are not mutually exclusive. Like speeches are often annoying when it's just someone soapboxing about their particular issues without entertainment. Perhaps the correct term would not be phrase would not be "we're all here for a laugh." We're all here for a good time.
Exactly. We are all here for a good time. We should. Well, actually, the phrase should be: "We are all here. We should be here for a good time. Should be here to just relax and have a great time." Enjoy yourself, have a laugh, don't take life seriously, and just get the most you can out of it. Never, never buckle down to that thing that makes you feel like you're small or you can't achieve anything. You can do whatever you want. The world is your oyster.
Oh, I don't believe that. I'm far too cynical for that.
I believe that whatever you want in life, you can get it. If you believe. If you believe it enough and you're determined enough, you can get it.
I hate to say it, the Hazbin philosophy is going to disagree with that entirely. I can't. I mean,
well, yeah, but that's the Hazbin philosophy.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's. I'm just saying, kind of counterintuitive to what you're saying. There is that the show is about having a good time and not taking it too seriously. But at the end of the
precisely.
Day,
I mean, that from that perspective, is basically like don't worry about what situation you're in. Just enjoy yourself before you cop it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, was it Buddha who said something along the lines of, I'm super paraphrasing here, but to be a part of life is to take pleasure in its suffering. Something, that's not quite the right word.
No, I get what you're saying. It's like, It is
Enjoy
to be a part of life. You need to flow with the ripple of disdain or something. I know what you're saying though. I know it's exactly it's that's pretty much the top and the bottom of it. Is that you go with the flow.
It's not quite what I mean either, but I think we'll
You go with the flow. But don't see. In my respect, is like don't take second best. Don't necessarily like try and aim for the best. Try and aim for the best if you can get it. But if you can't get it, be happy with what you got.
I think what Buddha was more going on is that the beauty in life does not come, at least solely, from the positive moments. That to exist means to also suffer. That we're not just here to be happy. We're not just here to have pleasure. He was more getting at like it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be broken, and that
right, yeah.
Because existence.
Well,
itself,
the thing is, that's a very, very true human thing. Because you can't be human without, having some kind of, detrimental element happening. Because you can't always be happy. Something bad or something that does, shakes the world a little bit for you.
Oh yeah,
to make you feel like the reality is real.
Suffering. And perhaps in today's time, really, if we think about it, most people are struggling, if not suffering.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to be in a position where we can philosophize about their pain.
Precisely, yeah.
But
and at the same time, we would like to hope that, we could, share, words of hope to anyone that might be listening right now. And things like that, because there's a couple of viewers I've had that have shared distressing sort of stories and stuff, which it's quite hard to hear. It's quite hard to pass on as well. But
yeah, I get it.
We're all unity, and we are all in this together, all of us as human, as a united force.
You and I have such different outlooks on life.
Backing ourselves up. It got very, very oh my god, I can't even say the word.
Festive?
No. Philosophical. There you go.
Yeah, philosophical.
very quickly.
We have wildly different philosophies, which is interesting because we're not arguing about them really. It's
no, and I completely respect and agree with yours. Definitely.
Well, not quite agree, but yeah, respect is definitely. I don't know. It's just for me. I don't know. I was such a positive person when I was younger, and what's weird is I still consider myself very positive. I don't consider myself negative. But yeah, a lot of people think I'm kind of pessimistic because I don't really like the we're all in this together. That
right.
You get anything you want if you believe. You can believe really hard, and you're not going to get anywhere.
No,
with it.
I understand, and I completely agree with that.
I think there's more to be explored in self than there is in the group. That isn't to say there isn't anything to be explored in the group or sharing positive vibes, but I think at the end of the day, you are alone. You can say you're all.
Let's put it this way, right? You are you. You are the only person you are. You don't have anyone else, right? So it's just you. If you want something in this world, it's down to you to get it. You need to do what you can to get that, right? And you either believe or you have the faith inside you to push yourself to get that element or level or achievement that you want to get, or you just give up on it. It's down to you, the individual, not a group or a collective. You are yourself, and it's down to the one person, one people forward.
I do believe it's up to you, but I don't necessarily believe that that it comes down to believing or that you can make it happen. I don't, it's a dark world, you know. And I'm living in one of the lighter parts of it. But...
No, I understand what you're saying. But I mean, like, you have to at least believe to yourself that you can achieve something. Because if you believe that you can achieve something, at least that pushes you forward, whether you think it's realistic or not. You know,
I've lost
that
faith.
way you can at least achieve, or, you know, at least attempt to achieve something.
I would just like to say, just because if there is anyone who does end up listening to this and you don't believe in yourself, that you're aware of your own limitations, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a problem. If you
I'm sorry, would it be okay if I finish this tangent? Sorry, I really just, this is it's a very good that there are very many people like yourself who can go on that positive route and say, like, it's about believing hard enough. But what a lot of that does is set you up for a really big crash when you finally realize that you were wrong. There are things you will never be capable of doing, no matter how hard you dream or how hard you wish. And it's not necessarily the thing you want to do. Like, you can, there's so many things you can do. Like, there's always something you can do. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the element that I'm thinking. I mean, I'm not saying people can take over the world. I'm not saying people can, like, you know, be the best singer or anything like that. It's just like, if you want to do something, at least try it. You know, believe in yourself to do it.
For me, it's okay if you don't believe in yourself. Have fun anyways. Try something.
Exactly.
Do it.
Have fun anyways. Because at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then there's no point. If you enjoy what you're doing, even if you don't succeed, at least you tried. You tried your best.
For me, it just comes down to, I think a lot of people set themselves up with, because what they want is the end goal. And maybe that's part of where you got to split the difference, because they don't really want... I call back to this, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but a friend of mine who calls himself a writer, but has never actually written anything.
Oh, I've got friends like that. I've got friends like that as well.
We all, especially like us working in this field, I think, like... And I don't want to, like, foo-foo on anyone.
No, me too.
I'm not a very talented, and this is something, like, perhaps why I don't enjoy the believe in yourself philosophy, because, like, I'm at a place where I'm realizing that I am so much more limited than I want to be. There are so many dreams I have that are being taken from me, it feels like, because I believed I could do anything, and I can't.
Right.
But... sorry, I just lost myself on that tangent. Oh, but if you enjoy it, which is what you're saying, that is like probably the most important thing in the entire world, is doing something. Obviously, if you have commitments to particularly taking care of your children, maybe that does come first. But beyond that, but a lot of people don't actually want what they say they want, is, I guess, the point I'm trying to get to. You and I want what we want, and again, not trying to foo-foo anyone, because I'm not a talented man, but there are a lot of people who are way more talented than me who are wondering why they can't become a YouTuber, and it's because they don't actually want to be a YouTuber. They want to be famous. They want to read comments about themselves.
Now, I did this video about 4 weeks ago, which was, if you want to be a YouTuber, you automatically have to instantly in your mind not want to be a YouTuber. And the reason being is because people that want to be YouTubers want to be famous. And that's not the mentality you need to be a YouTuber. You're never going to be entertaining. Well, not necessarily never be entertaining, but if you go in with that set mind, you're trying too hard. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even a matter of trying too hard so much as, like, if you just want to be, like, because again, like, I've been doing this professionally for a year, but I was still making money before that, and I've been on the platform my entire life. I've gone viral in 10 different ways for really stupid shit. But so many
maybe you told me before, actually.
I think I shared some of them with you.
Yeah.
But anyways, like so many people are like, well, how do I do it? And I'm like, well, are you making videos? No. Well, once in a while, I just haven't figured out what I want to do. You don't actually want to make a YouTube channel if you're not making a YouTube channel. I remember, like right now, I get a lot of people telling me that I can't make like a 3D animated TV show on my own. But that's exactly what they said about me when I was 14 years old, and they told me that I couldn't make like a sequel to Sailor Moon by using rotoscoping and fandubs.
Right.
And lo and behold, 8 years later, it was the most popular Sailor Moon fan project ever to finish, I think. I don't know. I can't, like, maybe there's others out there.
Well, I mean, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, the point is, like, if you want to do something, you'll do it badly, but you're gonna do it.
It does, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I never had any aspirations about being any kind of big YouTuber or anything like that. Way back then, 2006. 2006 when I started my first channel. I did a couple of dubs and all this kind of stuff, like music things, like, you know, theme tunes and stuff. Within a couple of years, I got recognized. Within 10 years following that, everybody knew me in the industry, including the actual official artists from the official dubs for the show. For example, because I do like Dragon Ball music, and 2 years ago I did a live performance with the official artist from the American version of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, wow.
And that was a massive achievement for me. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a nobody. I just came off this. Yeah, I did nothing. I just, like, you know, played some music on YouTube, and suddenly I'm doing a live stream. So not even a live stream, a live performance in front of, like, I don't know, 750 people at a convention.
Oh, wow.
With the official artist from the actual show. You know, it's crazy. What happens if you have that determination? Because the thing is, it's all about believing what you want to do. Just, if you want it, you can get it. If
I don't...
But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But the thing is, I think if you want it enough, you can get it. As long as you're not cringy, or you're not like, oh, look at my remixes or whatever. You know, if you're not going through the wrong routes, if you are lucky enough, you can make it.
That's my point is, yeah, if you're lucky enough. Are we lucky enough? Are most people lucky enough?
I don't know.
So
I mean, are we? I mean, we I think we're lucky enough to meet each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking. We're very lucky to end up where we have, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
When you start by saying, just believe in yourself. If you can believe in yourself, but then it comes down to, well, no, really, no matter how hard you believe in yourself, it also comes down to talent and luck. And
well, not just that. I mean, I would never say, you know, anything as Disney as that. But what I mean is, like, you know, really, if you want to achieve anything, and don't aim for something like, I want to be an anime music artist on fucking One Piece or anything like that. Just look for something basic, like, I want to make music for a video game franchise. So something simple like that. Do that. Work with simple steps. Do that. Put your demos out and see what happens from there. If you want to do voice dubs for you know, games and things like, or you know, like indie animation, put your things on like casting call. See what happens from there. If any of that stuff works, you could end up going, you know, bigger and bigger and bigger, but with your own experience, pushing it out, your own directions, and who knows, you could be such and such on such and such anime, or you could just be like that dude that sits in his, like, basement, you know, wishing that he could have done all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that sentiment. The way you worded before was very much like, just believe, and like...
Well, yeah, yeah. I tried to make it sound like Disney, but that's not how I actually meant it. What I meant was, like, there is a little bit behind it. You have to do a bit of, like, graft yourself.
I mean, even beyond, like, there are people who have been trying to make their channels work for as long as YouTube's been alive, and they could even be good at it, and they do it regularly, and it doesn't go anywhere.
I've been there. I've seen loads of YouTubers that are doing great dubs or doing great, you know, like video edits and stuff. And I'm straight on there, and I'm like, this is some, you know, this is some really epic stuff. Like, you know, join my channel and stuff. I'd love to get you somewhere. I'd love to try and help you if I can.
Yeah.
You know, whether I can or not is a different matter. But I mean, I will always try.
And if I may say, I would just like to leave a final thought, not necessarily with you, but with the audience for just the last thing I'd like to say. For those of you who are 100% sure that you want to do something, you know, just do it. You will probably fail. It's fine. Just do it anyways. Like, if that's all that matters to you is doing it, then do it. But if all that matters is doing it and getting success, you're going to be in for a hard time. And that's not to say it won't be hard, even if you are okay not getting success. I have had my own, really just this week. It's been a very dramatic week for me. Learning my limitations, not knowing I won't be able to achieve some of my dreams in the way that I had hoped. But the point is, even if it's hard, if you really do love it, just do it anyways. It's, at least you'll have fun, you know. You can always be sad about it after the fact, but enjoy it while you can.
I think the premise of the whole thing is, try it if you can. If you don't get anywhere, it's not the end of the world. Tomorrow is still another day. Give it another go. Try again. As much as your being is, you know, capable of doing, right? If there's something wrong with what you're doing, practice on it. Fix it. You know, mend it. Do something different. And if you really want it that bad, you will amend it to the point where you will eventually get something out. Whether it might be the thing you want or something that you didn't expect, at least try it. Because
you and I just have
if you don't try, you don't know. I think it's
and I just have very different philosophies on this, I think.
Oh no, I think we do, but I think we have the same exit game. I think we have different ways to get to it though. That's the only thing.
I don't think so. And that's fine, like there's nothing wrong. Like I, you know, disagree with most people on most things. That's
no. I mean, I'm completely cool with everyone's perspective on everything. I'm just
think kind of in
like,
awe of it because of how much we get along.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like in my mind, I think people have the ability to achieve whatever they want. They just have to just put a little bit extra in. You know, there's nothing out of reach from everyone. I mean, like, there are things like, for example, I can't sing certain altos or, you know, certain keys and stuff, but I can still sing. I'm not the greatest singer. I'm never gonna profess that. I won't be like, you know, a Grammy award or anything like that, but I can still sing to a certain degree. But I'm not like, an opera singer or fucking Whitney Houston, but there are people out there that are super epic, and they, you know, they don't really know it.
Yeah,
it's just one of those. You just need to experiment, try things, see what happens, see if it works. If it doesn't work, fuck it. If it does work, go for it. You know, if that doesn't work, maybe try something else. Who knows? Maybe try a different singing style. Whatever. At the end of the day, just make yourself happy, because that's all that really counts. If you're happy, it doesn't matter what the rest of the world thinks. Because if you're happy, that's number one straight away. The rest of the world is number two.
a little bit of disagrees here still, but you know, like I said, different philosophies. That's okay.
I'm very optimistic. But
I guess just because I've been in
I have a
such
very
bad
sort of like
places since
sunny
my
side, like, you know, living wise.
I was just kind of in this like really bad place after my mentor died, and I remember everyone just kept saying very similar things to what you're saying, you know, very positive things.
I understand.
At that point, it would feel rude for me to say that I knew them to not be true, but my experience was
I understand
that things don't work out. Life's kind of a shit show. There's no destiny and there's no rules.
It is. And you're right. There are no
So my
rules.
question is, how do you help the people who are in that place? Because it's very easy to help the masses by saying, believe in yourself, because all they want is encouragement, because that's all they need.
Yeah.
But how do you help the people who have done all that? And really, in a way, that's why I don't like the positivity spin. It's because you kind of set those people up for failure. I think that's why we have so many people who
like
want to be a writer or want to be
a group of people that may have, like, you know, people behind them and stuff, but people that don't feel like there's anyone with them at all and they're by themselves. Who's with them? Who's giving them this?
It's not about who's with them. Yeah, I feel like we're just not on the same page here, but that's unfortunately where I have to wrap things up for today. It's time for me to get going.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Well,
It's lovely to have you on, and it's an absolute pleasure. It
was great. Would love to do it again sometime.
Yes, absolutely. I think we should do this again sometime in the future.
Cool, yeah. I'll, we'll be in touch. We're on Discord. I'm in your server now. It was great meeting everyone in the audience. It was great meeting your partner. Chamali for life.
Absolutely. You're one of the broskies now.
Oh, you don't know what Chamali is?
No, I don't know what Chamali is.
So, okay, you were, I guess you were there, how old are you? I mean, that might be a rude question. I don't know what age you were there
35.
at. Okay, interesting. So Chamali is what you would call generally a white person, but it could be anyone from America who lived on Guam long enough that they become accustomed to the lifestyle.
You know what I miss from Guam?
What?
Mangilao Village on Wednesdays.
Oh my god, that's where you get like star apples and banana lumpia.
Oh my god, they're having a moment. Oh my.
Sorry, it's adorable.
Can I ask you a friend? Because I want to talk more about Guam.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no one to talk to.
I love it.
I've not met.
So cute.
Because like Chamorro Village, just real. I know I said I was leaving, but Chamorro Village was where all the Chamorro food and entertainment was on the island of Guam. Ribs soaked in finadeni sauce.
Oh man, you're making me hungry. Jesus.
But it's a dessert because they have a banana in it. I make a mean banana lumpia.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
I miss the spices there because it's hard to find spices here in the States that
What
match.
kind are you looking for?
I don't remember. It's been so long, but there is this one ribs with this one spice with it. It makes it so good. It has a tangy, spicy flavor.
Oh, you might be thinking like it's not finadeni, right? Because that's more soy saucy.
No, I don't think so. It's like a spicy
I love that
thing
flavor.
Okay, yeah, so you think more spicy. I can't help you with that. I thought you meant more like seasonings. I was like, in Puerto Rico, we picked up like Goya adobo. I use that on everything.
Oh, I use adobo too. I use that too.
Have you tried it in fried chicken?
Oh my god.
No, I have not.
It's really good. I'll let you guys go. I really need to get going anyways.
No worries, no worries. Well,
Thank
you're
you for
a
having me
legend. I'm glad you came on. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, and we would love to have you back in the future sometime.
Would absolutely love it. It was great. We should try and do one where it's just us, like going back and forth on our philosophy
Absolutely.
like that.
We can come up with different ideas and all sorts. I think it would be hilarious.
We'll just like open the floor with like Buddhism, your first remarks. But yeah, I look forward to it.
Fabulous.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you very much.
Man.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.
Yes, so thank you very much, everyone. I said very much. Why did I say very much? Hello,
Very much.
everybody in YouTube world. I am not drunk. You're drunk. I beg your pardon. Why are you pointing at me? Anyway, Grizzy.
Yes.
Hello. Where have you been, you bastard?
Hey, it's not my stream. It's Deep Cuts.
Hey, no, it's your stream. He was just a guest. What the hell, man?
I was just sitting here eating Wendy's and listening to you guys go back and
Eating bloody Wendy's. You made me do all the hard work. I see.
I couldn't find a time to. I couldn't find a conversation to jump.
Find the time to come in and talk. Blah blah blah. Yes. Likely story. Yes, well, you'll be cleaning toilets for the next 24 hours.
God damn it!
Times 6. Oh,
God damn it!
By the way, Blissey, you can do whatever you want because you're special.
Hello, old drunk. Are you, officer?
Yes. I've had 2 glasses of wine, a whole bottle of whiskey, and 4 pints of beer. What's your excuse?
I'm high on life.
Oh, fabulous! Let me have
I'm
a
high on
sniff.
love.
Oh, I like that too. Let me have a sniff. Bah! Anyway, we're gonna cut this stream short, although it's been like, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
That's reasonable, I think. Is that reasonable?
It's pretty reasonable.
It's pretty reasonable. By the way, check out tomorrow where Grizzy screams like a girl on the Nintendo. What was it? Smash reveal. Haha! It's hilarious. Do you know I actually recorded that?
Yes.
It was so funny. Anyway, arrivederci, Belle. Blah.
Bleh.
Blah. 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 Where's the N button? Oh, there it is.
Where's the end button?